Jorge Gonzalez, Top Bin 90. I have the pleasure today of sitting down with Charlotte FC captain, Mr. Ashley Westwood. Ashley,
good to see you, mate.
How are you today?
I'm welcome. Yeah, lovely. It's a wonderful day.
Yeah, it is.
Training's
right?
finished. So.
Yeah, I was joking you earlier, just like the Burnley weather here.
Yeah,
right?
just like it. Exactly the same.
Nice, awesome. Well, what I wanted to do today, Ashley, was kind of go over a little bit about your background, your beginnings, you know, what led you to Charlotte, some stuff like that. So I kind of want to reminisce a little bit with you. So I kind of want to start off with your time, you know, those early days at Crewe Alexandra, right?
Yep.
Your father was an electrician there as
you've
well,
done your
right?
research, mate.
Yeah, I've spent some time on. I wanted to make sure this was a special interview, so with a special player.
Yep.
So talk to me about those beginnings, you know.
So Crewe is my hometown club. It's a small town. Everyone knows everyone. But I just had dreams of just playing at Crewe. That was my initial dreams. Started at the age of 6 through their academy. But then it got to the age of, I was like 13, 14, and I was close to giving it up. I was so close to giving it up. I was getting home from school. I wanted to play out with my friends. All them were at the park playing, and they were getting up to no good, and I thought I was missing out. So it took for my parents to sit me down and say, you've got a chance here. So that's when it sunk in. 15, 16, I accelerated, and then played for the first team. Won promotion, which unfortunately on Sunday they just missed out on the playoff final. My best friend is the manager there, I played with him. So it's one of them clubs where you're brought up with Crewe, you play for Crewe, you end up coaching at Crewe, and now he's the manager. So played for Crewe. We won promotion there, which was incredible. Nice. And then, like you said, I got it was a whirlwind. I moved to Aston Villa. Yeah.
So talking a little bit about Crewe. I think your first full season, you were voted as the player of the season, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. You were, what, 20 years old?
Yeah, I broke in. I went on loan to a non-league team first, it made me realise what men's football is about. I thought it was all academy pretty football, but I got thrown into non-league, and it's just smash and tackle and fight, and it was the making of me. And like I said, broke in at Crewe, player of the season, and like I said, it was just, I started at left back.
Okay.
Because the manager at the time was like, he looked after young lads, so he was like, he put me at left back to protect me. He thought I wasn't ready for midfield, but then I got my chance in midfield, and I've not looked back since. So.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're in the midfield, not any other position. Although we do need some more firepower up top, right? But talk to me about the last season there, that Wembley match that takes you guys from League 2 to League 1. What was that experience like?
It was incredible. It was probably, me and my wife say it now, it's probably the best year of football.
Wow.
My boy was born in that summer. We got promoted for a hometown club, and then I got the move to Aston Villa. But we went on a run. We were 20 games unbeaten, and
wow.
We played nice football. We had an unbelievable team. We had a real good team. A lot of it was academy lads, so we all played together growing up. That's and awesome. We just went into the final knowing we were going to win. It was not an arrogance, it was a confidence. And like I said, we got the job done, and it was just an incredible moment. Probably, one of the proudest moments of my career.
I love that. Like you mentioned, I think in one of your interviews coming into Charlotte, that family culture, you felt a lot of that at Crewe as well, right?
Yeah, and that's what you get walking in here. You've got the president of the club, Joe, you've got Zoran, who are always here, you've got the whole media staff, everything, front of office here. So it's, me and the wife walked in when we got shown around, and it felt like a big hug straight away. And and even in the city, the whole city's like that. It's just so welcoming. So for me, it just felt like home straight away.
I love that. Let's talk then a little bit about your move from Crewe to Aston Villa, like you've mentioned, right? I mean, you virtually go from playing League 2, right, most of your career, to heading into the Premier League, right? I think it was a deadline day transfer as well, heading into Aston Villa. Talk to me about that, those emotions. You go to a historic club like that.
So, it was, again, a whirlwind. There was another club interested early on in the summer, but the bid didn't happen. They were trying to move a player to a big club to generate funds for me. But that didn't happen in time, and then it was like there was 4 hours left of the deadline window, and my agent got a phone call. He said, right, we'll do it, we'll take Ash. So the next minute I'm driving 2 hours up the road on the motorway and signing for Aston Villa. I didn't know what I was earning But it was, the story, my agent's gone in, done the deal, I've gone, done the medical checks, next minute I'm gone to sign the paper, and the numbers were just, from what I was used to, it was just, it was mind-blowing. And next day I'm in training with all these superstars, Gabby Agbonlahor, Darren Bent, Stephen Ireland, Shay Given, and it was like, wow, this is incredible, and the facilities are just, it's a different world. It's a different world.
Were you excited? Were you nervous? Like what
nervous,
was that actually?
But it was, I'm glad it happened like that, because I didn't have time to think. I was signed there, next day you're in training with them, so I didn't have time to worry about it. It was just straight in, and I knew I could, I'm very good. And I knew going in I could. It took me a couple of days to realise, but then once I settled in, and it was just, I hit the ground running. Yeah,
I love that. And I mean, obviously, like the level in the Premier League, I mean, you the best league in the world, right, for a reason, right? So like,
yeah, it's phenomenal. These guys are elite athletes as well. That's what you don't see when you see them up close. They're big, they're strong, they're quick, they've got everything. So I had to adjust really quickly.
Nice. There was a particular match that I saw. I think it was Wolves, Aston Villa. You guys were fighting a relegation battle, and you scored, right? And I think they won 3-1 that match, and you guys got kind of saved. Talk to me about a moment like that, you know, where it's kind of tough and like you're able to get a win and stay up in the Prem.
It's especially at a club like Aston Villa, who are back where they belong now, top 4. But when I was there, it was the chairman cut the money, so they were having a lot of cutbacks, and they looked at bringing younger lads through. So there's a lot of pressure. It's a big club. We moved to the city, and when you lose a game, you'll go in. The postman, the mailman's looking at the door, and what's going on at the weekend, mate? And it's like, so there's a big pressure. But fighting relegation, it's real tough. You've got people worrying about the jobs, backroom staff. You've got you bear the whole world on your shoulders. It's not just your career; it's people behind. So but when you win the games, and when you stay up, it's magical.
Such a high.
It's incredible. Yeah, just to stay up. But again, Villa was a club where they wanted to be higher, and just staying up wasn't enough for them.
Yeah, I think the season that you were there, that they got relegated.
Yep.
I think you guys only won 3 matches that season. I mean, like you said, it's such a tough pressure, the environment. What do you think you took out of that? What did you learn that you felt like make Westwood just a better person and a better player?
It made me tougher. It made me more thick-skinned. I've spoke about it before. I was in a bad place. There was a few of us. We would lose games. We would go back. We'd be in a group chat. We'd send pictures of each. Well, we're back on the drink. It was. I admit it. I turned to drinking a lot of red wine. My wife will admit it. She was worried, and I was getting a lot of abuse on Twitter, which it's tough. And when you've got a young family, he was getting it at school. So we went through a real tough time, and I did. When you move away from it, you don't realise until you're there what a bad spot you're in. So it definitely affects you mentally, and like I said, but it does. It makes you tough. It makes you realise who you are as a person, what people you need around you. And at the end of the day, if you've got good people around you, you'll come through it.
For sure, man. That's awesome. Like, it's stuff that like it's very easy to get on Twitter or Facebook and see like players are getting hammered all the time. Like we notice it, right? So to a degree, we don't try to be too like overly negative, right? We try to criticize when criticism is deserved. But like you mentioned, like it's tough to sometimes just see like people just go at you.
It is tough, and it's not just your own fan. Other people jump on it. It really hit me hard, but like I said, being a footballer, it is part and parcel of what you do. You're out there.
That's very true.
You're out there playing for, these people are paying big money to watch you play, so they're the pressures that come with being a footballer. But like I said, when things are going well, it's the best job in the world.
Yeah. Well, talking about things going well, right? Talk to me about that move to Burnley. One of the things I saw you quoted saying was, "I've never been in a locker room like that Burnley locker room," right? So like talk to me about that move, what happened there, and what made you feel that way.
Again, that was a deadline day move.
Yeah.
So I think Burnley originally wanted me in the summer.
Yeah.
But I turned it down. I wanted to stay at Villa. I think I felt like I owed them something to get back promoted. But then 6 months into it, it was even more of a mess than what it was in the Premier League. And thankfully, Burnley come back in the January. And I jumped at the chance, and like I said, going into that dressing room, it was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal place. We knew what we were. We worked hard. A bunch of lads who got on with each other, socialised together, families got on together, and it took us a very long way. It took us into Europa League. So,
Yep.
and I'll be honest, I feel like we're building that here. It's the same feeling I'm getting here. It's a pleasure to come to work here, and that's what it was like at Burnley.
I love that. I love that. I also want to ask you a little bit about the Mercedes Viano you guys got and the Ashcabs, and like, talk to me about that. How did that come about?
So we all live, obviously Burnley's 50 minutes from Manchester. So me and Ashley Barnes, another lad who's at Norwich now, we're still in the same group chat. It's still called Barn West Services. So we're still in a group chat now with a few of the boys who we used to drive up there. But we thought we were putting miles on the cars. And then we just thought, why don't we're all driving the same way. So you're like, why don't we buy a van together? And me and Ashley Barnes ended up driving it, and we were charging lads. I think it was £30 a journey, which is like $40 a journey.
I love that.
So, but we would collect the money. We would have a finalist if they're late. So we had Joe Hart, Ben Gibson. We had a good group, and
you guys did a little karaoke in there too.
it was
right?
incredible. It was incredible, but it affected my life at home because I thought I was in a boys' school, and then I'd go home and just act like a stupid boy at home. So it was a good thing and a bad thing, but it was the camaraderie was amazing, and afterward, when they paid us, we would take the lads out for a Nando's or treat them to some food. So yeah, it was good.
That's
good.
awesome. I think like you mentioned, that speaks to like the culture that you guys were able to build, right? You know, like that locker room, right? How important that is to be so tight, to be so unified. Because in the good times it's great, but in the bad times it's when you stick together.
And that's what at Burnley, we were brilliant at it. We would go. I think we went 11 games where we didn't win a game, but when we knew we were in that building, everyone was together, aligned, and the manager got us doing that. Everyone was working to the same goal, and no one blamed each other. Everyone just got on with it. So a good culture in a football club can take you a long way just on its own.
What do you think you learned most from a manager like Chant?
And treat people with respect. Not everyone's the same. The manager, Sean Dyche, was a great man. He didn't treat you as a footballer, he looked at you as a family man as well, so he would look at what's outside that. And to be fair, Gaffer here he reminds me very much of Sean Dyche, and he's just, the manager is an incredible person, and like I said, we're building something, and
very special.
I think you can see it on the pitch where lads are working for each other. It's not just, we're not a bunch of individuals, we're starting to work as a team, and the clean sheets are showing for that. Everyone's putting the bodies on the line. We
love that. It's been a great May, you know, and we've seen a Westie banger too, which is always great to catch, you know. I want to go, right before we get into the Charlotte FC topic, I want to talk a little about the injury that you had, you know, the game against West Ham.
Yep.
You know, I mean, like, we all saw the images of it. It didn't look great, right? And I mean, like, your recovery from that ankle injury. Talk to me about that mindset, because from what I read, you started very positive, right? But then it kind of gets to you at some point, correct?
It does, and like I said, the first few weeks are easy. You go in, you have the operation, you come home, you recover, you see the stitches healing, and you think, right, I'm brilliant here. And then it gets to probably like 3 months, and I was flying, and then I just plateaued. I just stayed at one level. And it gets frustrating. Then you get setbacks, and it's tough. But like I said, luckily I had a good physio who worked with me. Nick was incredible. My wife was on me, and eventually I'll admit I was close to calling it a day.
Yeah.
And things at Burnley changed. The lads were leaving. The dressing room changed, and I just wasn't enjoying it. But then I got the sniff of coming here, and it gave me a new boost, and now I feel 21 again. So I think this move's, it's rejuvenated me. And
what was it with that, maybe that conversation with Zoran or some of the key figures here that like got you excited about, you know what, like a new opportunity, brand new franchise?
It was, to be fair, it was all Zoran, and I spoke with him. I'll be honest, I didn't even know where Charlotte was. Didn't know where Charlotte was, and I spoke to someone. They said there might be an opportunity to come here, So then I spoke with Zoran. To be fair, I spoke with Latanzio, who had a big say in bringing me here. He obviously knew me from the Premier League, so
Right.
I thank him a lot for bringing me here. But Zoran was amazing. He said, you'll love it, the weather's great, we're building a new thing that we want you to be a part of, and that was the selling point for me. And as I come and did the medical, I met Bobby Belair, I met Joe, I met all the front of office staff. Bobby took me to the Hornets game, got me front row, and it was just driving to the medical. I met TK, who's an incredible man, and like I said, it was just everything just aligned. And coming here now, a year in, it's the best thing I've ever done.
We love that. We love to hear that. We have a question from one of our subscribers, and they really want to know, like, what did your family and teammates and people say when you're like, oh, I'm going to Charlotte, North Carolina?
We're here at 1351 Richland Drive, Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Oakhurst neighborhood, 28211 zip code. Super hot zip code. We've got a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom, just under 4,200 square feet, new construction home here. Really nice brick exterior, office, a sitting room, a entertainment room with really nice hardwood floors throughout the whole home. Nice flat lot, fully fenced, private. We've got a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo unit. It's a great opportunity for a investment property and rental income, or a first-time home buyer. It's a great location in South Charlotte. This is in the Carmel Crossing development, just off of Pineville Matthews Road. If you have any questions, want more information on either of these two listings, my information's below. Please feel free to reach out. Would love to hear from you.
So it was a conversation. Me and the wife, we'd spoke about it a few years ago. Obviously, the Beckham hype with the Miami.
Right.
Then I'm one of them. I said to the wife, I would love to go and play there. So that's what we said. We said, and I'd love to give America. But we looked at La Liga. We looked at I wanted to test myself in a different culture. But
Gotcha.
our kids were at an age where learning a new language would be even tougher for them. So coming here, they speak the same language.
Right.
So like I said, everything just aligned, and spoke with Charlotte. I come here, and there was a chance of coming here. Zoran made the offer. Burnley let me go, but it was the conversation with the wife. I said, if I'm going to come here, we're all doing it. We're all in, and thankfully the wife's backed me to the hilt, and here we are today. So she's got a big part in it. She's played a big part in it.
Yeah, and we see her kind of doing other stuff with the club too, or like being involved with, like new players and their wives coming in. So something that I've noticed about you, Ashley, and your wife as well, is you guys have really taken like a leadership role that, like, I guess it has become second nature to you, just based off your career and the adversity, right? Like what was that mentality coming into this club? Like, obviously, like, they're going to give you this, but what did you want to give to Charlotte?
Well, Zoran said it's a new club. I knew it was a new club, and he spoke with me, and I felt like I could come here and I wanted to leave a legacy here. I wanted to come here and do something special, not just come here and enjoy it as an adventure. I wanted to come here and, like I said, I was coming back from an injury, so Zoran put faith in me, and I wanted to pay him back with my performances and what we do for the club. So it was part of a trust thing with me and Zoran. And like I said, I think I'm paying him back now. I'm playing every game. So, but yeah, with the original talk was I wanted to come here and to build something and build a big community and pay something back. I mean, I see my boys in the academy here. He plays for Independence. So we're always around the place, and it's so refreshing to see kids just enjoying football. And every time I go to practice, people are coming up and asking for photos. So what we're doing in the community is testament to this football club, and now we need to start doing it on the field as well.
I love that. Yeah, like there's a lot of special moments from last season that I can think of, particularly like the Inter Miami game. Obviously, there was Messi in town. Obviously, you're trying to get a play-in game, right? Tough match. There's a Vargas goal, but there's that moment that you also had with Ayla, Anton Walkes' daughter, right? Like, you bringing her out. Talk to me about doing something special like that in such a special occasion.
Yeah, it was something we obviously Anton's girlfriend and Alexis is close with my wife, and I felt like we owed it to her. She was and Ayla's a special little girl, so I just felt it was right. So we spoke with Bobby, and Bobby okayed it, and like I said, I think it was emotional, but I thought it was a perfect fit for the day, and like I said, I think someone was up there helping us get that result.
Yeah, I love that. It's kind of those small things that I guess people don't realize how much of an impact it has, but I think it shows those leadership skills, and you're kind of setting the standard or what you want, like what we want to see in this club. Because obviously, like at the end of the day, the fans care about the results, right? Like,
yeah.
If you're not playing well, they're gonna let you know, as obviously as you know. But there's also those other intangible things that we get to see that that I think from my perspective, like the culture inside is good.
It's incredible, and like I said, that's what I wanted to. That's all I like to think. I'm a good person, so I wanted to bring that here, and you're seeing it now. The lads were doing work yesterday at the homeless shelter, and the feedback we've had from that, we've got a good bunch of good people who. It just embodies the football club, and I think fans can, when you see good people and good honest humans, I think people can relate to that, and that's what. There's no egos here. We're all here. We all want to do well for Charlotte, and like I said, if they see a team working hard on the pitch, the whole buy-in of everyone around the town can see that as well.
I love that. We've also seen videos of you with a lot of the academy players. You're going in there talking to them. Obviously, like you just mentioned that story where you were almost about to give up. That's got to resonate with some of them as well, right? Just to you, how important is that like factor of giving back and kind of setting that next generation up?
Yeah, and I think it's lucky from where I was brought up. Crewe Alexandra was that. We had first team players coaching us, doing their coaching badges. So I've grown up with it, and me growing up as a 6-year-old, seeing these footballers, professional footballers, coming in and taking out times out of their day to take an interest in what I was doing at the age of 6. I think it's only right for me to give back to the lads here, and like I said, hopefully one day I want to see these come and take my spot. I want to see these players come through and develop, because there's nothing better than seeing young lads coming through. You see it with Nico, Pat, Brandon, Ben Bender. And then when you're playing with them, it gives you an extra urge to go that extra mile for them. So it's just what I've brought up with, and I want to carry on doing it for as long as I'm playing.
And I love that. I mean, we saw that last year when Patrick, I think he made his debut, and you came on and said, "Hey, we didn't do a good job for him that night." And I think that just is a testament of what you mentioned. Like, hey, like, we're setting up the next generation here, and like we play a big role in that.
Yeah, and it's not just me. You've got Junior Urso who's come out. He's been magnificent. He's not playing every game, but the professionalism he shows. You've got Nath, who's unbelievable. He's a talker. He's an organiser. So we're creating a good group with the young lads can learn from. Like I said, I spoke to Brandon about his injury with his ankle. He had very similar to me. So he was getting down, but like I said, now he's come through it. He looks sharp in training. So that's what I want to do. I want to bring players through and help them, and hopefully when they're off in the MLS playing major games, if they make it to Europe, I want them to remember me, and I'll be able to ask them for some tickets sometime. That's the most important thing.
So that's the real reason.
That's the real reason. Free tickets.
He's like, hey, who's doing the best in the academy? All right, I love that. Obviously, like, there's a thing now on like online that it's more like Ashley Westwood only scores bangers, right? We've seen against Columbus, against Chicago, like some of these goals, I'm like, thank goodness it's him on the end of those, right? So is there a memorable goal that you have so far at Charlotte?
The memorable one? I think the Chicago away, the volley.
Yeah, that was a beautiful one.
I think it was a game we needed to win to keep our playoff hopes alive, and it was just a big goal. So I would say that one.
One-timed it.
I would say that. It got the lads battered me. They say it got a deflection. It come off my shin. So, but for me, it was a big goal in a big part of this football club. So
I love that. And you're one of the first players to actually have their own chants at Charlotte, right? You know,
I love it as well.
I love that. I want to ask you a little bit about that and the relationship that you've been able to build with this Charlotte FC fan base. For them, we heard it this weekend as well, you know, like how important it is to be able to identify with a player on the pitch like you who comes and like creates that culture and that relationship with the fan base.
Well, it's amazing to hear, and like I said, I've never been accepted like this into a football club, so I thank them for that. I thank them for the minute I walked in. They've been brilliant with me. Obviously I was coming off a bad injury, so they could have written me off straight away, but again, like Zoran, they stuck faith in me, and like I said, one thing with me, you will always get 100%. If I'm having a bad game, I will still run round for you, and I will bleed, I will sweat on that football pitch for any football club I'm playing, but for this one it's special. It's grabbed my heart, and like I said, I want to keep doing well for this football club.
I love that. Like, yeah, like you mentioned 100%. I think after this match this weekend, like, I was like, I saw you coming out of the locker room, like, with a pizza, just chilling, walking. I was like, this man just played 3 games in 7 days, right? 90 minutes each. And he's taking it like a champ. I mean, obviously you're not 21 anymore, but I'm like, I love that about you, that like 100% all the time.
Yeah, and the next 2 days I'm in agony. I'm not gonna lie, I'm in agony. Like, the little boys asking to play football, I'm like, I can't, mate, I can't. But yeah, I've grown up doing it though. We've grown up in England. It's intense. You have to be at your best for every game. So I've been brought up doing that, and Nathan's the same. He'll run through brick walls for you. So, but like I said, with me and Nathan, when people see the old boys doing it, the young boys have to step up as well. So
you're setting the standard.
We want to set the standards, and in training as well, we want to set the standards. I'll admit I'm not great in the gym, so I've got the likes. BB's that man, Georgie's that man in the gym. So everybody takes it. I want a collective effort. Everyone takes ownership of their things, and the manager's come in and said that as well. He wants accountability for the individual. So like I said, it's a real good environment at the minute.
I love that. I mean, one of the things that Dean mentioned was a conversation that he had with you, you know, coming to Charlotte, where you kind of told him to embrace it, right? Talk to me about that, like embracing the culture and kind of seeing what Dean has done with this team, because I mean, we're flying at the moment, right? And like, there's still pieces that could take this team from where they're at to the next level.
Yeah, and like I said, I spoke to him. I was honest with him. I said, like, I told him about the squad, about the whole place, and what the manager needed to do. But I knew Dean getting the job. I spoke to people back at Aston Villa, and they only spoke about good things about him. And it's just the way he is as a human. He's a real top human, and the lads need that. We've got some young lads here, and he comes and gives you confidence. You look at Tiger. Six months ago, Tiger was playing college football. Now he's producing in the MLS, and we see him in training. He's walking on a cloud. So that's what the manager does. You've got Pat now. Brandon's coming through. He's giving Nico his chance. You've got JP. So you're getting lads who are, which is what this club is about, developing players. And so we've got the right man in the job, and I can't speak highly enough of him.
I love that. Just a few more for you. One of our subscribers, John, wants to know, without Charlotte really having a clear rival yet, you know, is there like a team that you see that's kind of like when you guys go against them, like, okay, like it's go time? Obviously, like, that's one of the things I love about your personality. You'll have a go at anybody if they come at you or one of our players. Like, even this weekend, we saw it.
We won't mention him. I will not mention his name.
But is there any rivalry you're seeing forming up with any team, or are you guys just kind of taking it?
Obviously, we see things. We're not stupid. We see social media.
Yeah.
So we see the buzz around Nashville.
Yeah.
We see the noise around that. But obviously Atlanta, it's hard here. Everything's so far away. So
yeah.
In England, you got 10 miles separating some clubs. So but no, we'll just go about. We want to, especially at the bank, we want to go and beat everyone who comes here. So
love that.
But yeah, for me, I'll fight anyone on the field. Off the field, I'm as calm as anything. So
I love that. It's only in MLS. I was talking to some fans. It's only in MLS you could say, "Oh, it's a close game. It's in Atlanta, 4 hours away."
I was just saying that in there before. It was like someone was saying, "Oh, yeah, I think Legacy are playing Atlanta soon." So I'm trying to hype that up. I was like, "It's 6 hours away." But no, we want to be. The thing for us, we want to be the best team on the East Coast. So
Nice.
that's our ambition.
I love that. How has fatherhood changed your view of the game in football?
That's a great question. There's more to life than football. It's shown me. I've always been a guy. My wife will tell you, if we lose a game, I always tell my son, if we lose, I know I've been on that field giving 100%. That is all you can do. So don't have no regrets the next day. That's what I try to teach my son. Although moaning to the ref is not what I want to teach him. He's been on at me at that. He's told me off as well. So, but yeah,
It's great. He kind of holds you accountable.
He does. He tells me, and then because I'm watching him on a Sunday and he's throwing his arms around, I'm like, "What you doing?" He's like, "Well, you do it," and I'm like, "Yeah." I can't say anything. No, but for me, it's if you lose, as long as you give 100%, you know you can wake up the next day and you don't have any regrets. You can't win them all. Some days you're going to have bad days, but you saw in Chicago, we were awful in Chicago.
Yeah.
But because every one of us give 100% and was fighting, we ended up getting a win. So
Yeah, we love that, and you'll always have matches like that, right? Where like
you can't play well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, well, you took the 3 points. All right.
Yeah.
Dust it over and continue to go.
And me and Nave said the ugly wins are the best ones. When you win it's a typical English. It's an English mentality. You win ugly and nick a set piece, 1-0 off you go back home and celebrate.
Did you know that you were going to score that, or you just kind of like? Okay,
I've been doing a lot of work with George Marks out here. I've been making him stay out, but he's brilliant. He loves it. He loves it just as much as me. But for me, I've got to be in a certain range.
Okay.
So I've got to be around just outside the penalty area in that D.
Okay.
Anything outside that, I'm not strong enough to. So, but I knew stepping up to it. I knew. JP was there. I said to him, "Can you get it round the keeper's side?" Because I thought the keeper was going to gamble. But then when I set it up, I thought, no, I'm taking this, and thankfully it went in.
We got those 3 points. And then last one for you, Ashley. What 20 years from now, 30, 50, right? Like, what do you want people to remember Ashley Westwood like at Charlotte FCs particularly?
Just a good guy. Good guy. Forget the football. I want to be known as, he was a good human who went out of his way to say hello to people and treat people the right way.
Yeah.
I want to be remembered here for 30 years. That's my aim, and hopefully I'll still be around Charlotte.
I love that. I love to hear that. Actually, I've read somewhere too that like even during those negative times at Aston Villa, like someone commented, like I saw like a comment say, "Hey, I ran into him somewhere and he was still nice and friendly to me," right? Even because you knew, like, you know,
he was probably abusing me on Instagram or Twitter. But no, I think
but that just goes to show the type of person, like, you didn't hold any regret towards this person, right? Because they're different than whoever might have been yelling at you on Instagram.
Exactly. Yeah, I treat people how I meet them. So if they're nice to me, I'll be nice to them. And like I said, if they're saying bad things, it's up to me to change their mind about me. So
nice. That's
what I want to be remembered as, just a real good human.
Ashley, thank you so much
for taking time. Thank you so much, mate. Pleasure to see you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.